Welcome to Hub History, where we go far beyond the Freedom Trail to share our favorite stories from the history of Boston, the hub of the universe. Hi, I'm Jake.
And I'm Nikki.
Hub History is a weekly podcast, scripted, researched, where we talk about the history of Boston, to uncover stories and people who are often left out of the more mainstream narratives of Boston history. So we like to find a way to share the history of Boston with others, and that gives us the excuse to learn more about it.
Our intro to the history world is that we were looking for opportunities to share history, and we ended up docenting for a summer at the Shirley Eustis house. And between tours, we were trading back and forth our favorite stories from Boston history.
Maybe trying to one-up one another.
Maybe. I won. And then the idea for the podcast was born.
With a podcast, I feel like we can take a story and reach people who are never going to dig deep enough into the primary sources, historical archives. People will throw in the earbuds and go for a run, and we can share the stories with folks that way.
After several years, all the episodes intertwined. And we have actually gone back and re-researched and re-recorded some of the earliest episodes.
Some of my favorite episodes tell just unexpected stories, like the first captive beluga whale anywhere was essentially a downtown crossing in the 1860s. And that story ends up with the owner essentially getting swindled out of his business by P.T. Barnum, the greatest showman. Every week I think we're out of ideas. And every week there's another story about Boston history that we haven't told before. We'll be airing an episode about the first Black woman to earn a medical degree in the U.S., who until just about a month ago was buried in an unmarked grave in Hyde Park.
You know, the point of learning the history or studying the history is to inform the present. And so, you know, we bring it into the context of the 21st century.
Boston's also basically the oldest big city in the US, so that makes us pretty unique. It's also a city of squares, so every square is a little different. It goes beyond just downtown crossing, the north end, the south end. So you get out in the neighborhoods, things feel a little different no matter which corner you're standing on.
We were always taking notes, right?
Yeah.
Always writing things down.
You hear an interesting story, you jot a note, and then you find a thread to pull on. It may not be the story you originally heard that you end up telling, but you find a way into a story. There's always something new that's old to talk about.
The best place to find us is our website, hubhistory.com.
We share some sort of tidbit every day on Twitter, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, you name it, we're there. Subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode.